Welcome to the Virtual Manager podcast. My name's Anna Russell. I'm an artist manager and founder of The Virtual Manager. Throughout my career, I've developed and managed several music artists from new unsigned acts right through to globally successful ones. This podcast is for all unmanaged or independent music artists who want to start, build, or grow a successful, sustainable music career. It's a brand new year and hopefully a more promising one for music artists as the COVID-19 vaccine is being rolled out and we'll start to see the return of live music, finally. After 2020, when you may have felt the growth of your music career was stunted by the pandemic, you're probably feeling ready to tackle the year and either start, build, or grow your music career more than ever in 2021. Pandemic or not, what you don't want in any year is to reach the end of it and feel like you haven't actually moved forward, that you haven't seen any growth in your musicianship, your fan base, your income from music, and generally your business as an artist. There's nothing more frustrating than spending a lot of time and energy on something only to feel you've not gotten anywhere. You may have experienced this before, and if so, you'll no doubt want to avoid it ever happening again. I often hear music artists complain that they've been pursuing a music career for some time, but haven't achieved any real results or feel that nothing has actually improved in their career. If this is you, there is one key mindset shift that you may need to make as we embark on this new year. That mindset shift consists of ceasing to measure your career achievements in relation to the amount of time you've been pursuing it. Stop thinking to yourself, I should be at X place because I've been a music artist for X number of years. The amount of time you've been an artist is rarely correlated to which stage of your career you're at. You won't progress in your music career purely by virtue of the amount of time you've been pursuing it. It's easy to spend a lot of time, even many years, being active as a music artist without actually tangibly progressing. So not improving your playing and songwriting skills, not seeing your fan base become bigger and more engaged, not gradually playing to larger and larger audiences each year, and not seeing your income from music increase year on year. For example, assuming that time alone, i.e. years spent, should bring you the career you want only leads to disappointment or feeling like you're not good enough. Instead, you want to start measuring your career achievements by the amount of growth that has happened during the time you've been pursuing it. What are you proactively and consistently doing each year to experience career growth? This could include proactively working at improving your playing and songwriting skills, regularly releasing music and continually trying to make your promotional campaigns further reaching and more impactful than the ones before, trying out new fan base building tactics so you see your fan base increasingly become bigger and more engaged, continually learning more about the music industry so you see your knowledge and skill set broadening. If these things aren't happening to some degree, you'll likely be experiencing a plateau, if not a standstill. And that's what I don't want for you in 2021. So how do you stop focusing on time spent and start focusing on consistent growth? How do you ensure that this year isn't another year where things don't really seem to move forward, despite you feeling busy all the time? It's time for a more effective approach, and you have 12 new months ahead of you to really make a difference in your music career. Firstly, this likely means applying yourself in ways you haven't before. You know that saying, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. Well, if what you've done in the past hasn't created tangible growth in your music career, now is the time to look at why and make a change. What I want for each of you listening is for you to see tangible and consistent growth in your career across 2021, so that you'll be starting 2022, 12 months from now, in a stronger place with a more solid music business. That's going to mean stretching you past your comfort zone to operate from a place of consistent growth. But it doesn't mean going from 0 to 100 overnight. It's about the incremental increases you make week on week, month on month, quarter by quarter, all adding up to your most successful year yet. The first thing to do to ensure that is to take stock of where you are now in your music career at the beginning of 2021 actually note down your current circumstances. What is the size of your fan base and the level of their engagement? Do you have a mailing list, and what is its current rate of growth? Do you have music that is ready to release, and how regularly did you release music last year? Do you have physical music, merchandise, or a Patreon to sell? If so, how often and how heavily have you promoted these in the past? Pay particular attention to any areas of your career you feel dissatisfied with and how you'd like to improve these this year. Next, you want to set your music career goals for 2021, perhaps starting with the areas that you've just identified you feel dissatisfied with. However, goals should not be arbitrary wishes. You want to make them SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. So get very specific on what you want to achieve, focusing on the goals which you feel will most move your music career forward in 2021. Add a tangible target that you're trying to reach and a deadline when by. So for example, grow my fan base might become increase my Instagram following by 10% each month so that I have 5,000 followers by the 30th of March 2021. Once you've set your goals for the year, review them to make sure that they each stretch you considerably but are still realistic and achievable. Now that you're clear on your SMART goals for the year, it's time to devise a strategy to help you achieve these, which is essentially a plan of how you're going to get from where you are now to there. Your strategy will include the tactics you're going to try using to achieve your goals and each of the action steps you'll need to take and when to implement these. I advise creating a strategy for 1 quarter, that's 90 days at a time only. Any more than that, and you're likely going to feel overwhelmed and lose focus. Remember that we want your growth to be consistent, so your strategy has to be sustainable. You also don't yet know how the year is going to progress, so it doesn't really make sense to create a strategy for the whole year, only for things to develop in another direction, at which point you then need to redo your whole strategy, creating more work for yourself. We're working smarter in 2021. Finally, here's the important part. At the end of each quarter, it's time to measure and log your progress for that quarter. Did you achieve your quarterly goals? If yes, which tactics worked well that you'll continue to use in the next quarter? If not, why not? Which areas have you seen tangible growth in and which have you not? What might you need to find a new tactic for, or where might you need to invest more time, finance, or energy than the last quarter? Measuring your progress at the end of each quarter gives you actual data to work from, so there's no guesswork. So you can see in black and white if there's been growth or not, as the case may be. In turn, this data is then used to tweak your tactics and create your goals and strategy for the following quarter, and so the cycle continues. If you'd like me to walk you through setting your goals for 2021 and writing your quarterly strategy, making sure that they'll help you achieve the music career growth you're looking for this year, but are also realistic, I'm holding a live workshop this Thursday, the 14th of January at 7 p.m, which I'd love you to join me for. The workshop goes into each of the points we've discussed today in far more comprehensive detail, and it also provides you with a free quarterly strategy workbook to create yours. Not only will you leave the workshop with a complete strategy for the first quarter of 2021, you'll also have all the tools you need to create your strategy and measure your progress for the remainder of the year as well. The workshop will be held inside the Virtual Manager, which is my online membership community for music artists. And as a member, you will, of course, also get access to all the other training and resources in there, which also includes a spreadsheet to measure your progress each month and quarter, amongst many other things. Now, the cost of joining the Virtual Manager is usually £24. However, if you join any time this January, you get a full 14 days of membership for just £1. I want to make sure that you are all getting off on the right foot this year. To take advantage of this trial offer and attend the workshop live this Thursday, join now at thevirtualmanager.co.uk. I hope to see you there. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Virtual Manager podcast. If you found it useful, I invite you to check out the Virtual Manager membership site, an essential resource for independent artists who want to start, build, or grow a successful, sustainable music career. Everything you hear about on this podcast, we show you how to do in there. With monthly music industry training, a library of tools and resources for you to use, A&R feedback on your music, access to live Q&As with me, plus an active, supportive community of like-minded artists, the Virtual Manager is the perfect place to be for any unmanaged or independent music artist. Check it out now at thevirtualmanager.co.uk. Finally, please take a minute to review and subscribe to this podcast. It helps more independent music artists to find us.